and welcome to our special show on heart disease and heart care, and we come to you on World Heart Day. Now, since 1990, the number of people who are dying of heart diseases in India has risen by 34%. Why are we in this situation today? We're seeing this increase of heart disease. That's what we're going to be talking about during this show. We're going to talk about what we can do to protect ourselves and our families, deal with it through lifestyle changes, and also how we can deal with it financially as well. And to take us through these issues today, we're joined by Dr. Sameer Gupta, award-winning cardiologist. Thank you for being here. Tapan Singhel, MD and CEO of Bajaj Allianz General Insurance, who's going to guide us about preparing to deal with medical emergencies. Dr. Shikhar Sharma, who founded the concept of preventive healthcare through nutrition. And also Amit Khanna, former international athlete, who was the fastest man in India between the years 1995 and 1990. Thank you all for being here with us. And first of all, Dr. Gupta, I'd like to start with you. Why are we in this situation today? Why are we seeing that at a time when in the West incidents of heart disease are going down, in India they're just increasing?
This is something we see very often. You know, I was in the US for many years, and I saw the average age group of people I was treating over there. And now in India, you know, the average age group of people I'm seeing is much younger. And there are a lot of studies which have been done which have shown that Indians get heart disease about 10 years earlier than the Western counterparts. And the question is why? Why is it that the youth of India, which I would say is less than 50, have so much heart disease? There are multiple reasons for that. You know, the higher incidence of high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, smoking.
But why? Why is it increasing? Is it our lifestyle?
Our lifestyle which is changing. You know, we have you know, the urbanization, the lack of eating nutritious food. When I say nutritious food, I mean fruits and vegetables, good nutritious food. We are now going more to the Western diet, the fries, the Coke, the processed foods, the
eating out more often,
lack of exercise. You know, there have been multiple studies which have been done where the Indian people are far more sedentary as compared to people abroad. So, you know,
lifestyle changes are required. So, Dr. Sharma, when we talk about, we're saying nutrition and the kind of food that we take in, is there enough awareness about this? Do people realize, you know, what a key role this plays, the kind of food you choose to eat day in and day out, to your health and possibility of heart disease before you're 40?
I don't think there is so much awareness about the kind of faulty choices we are making on a daily basis, because mostly people understand either just weight loss, or they understand that, okay, I don't want to get cholesterol or heart disease, let me not eat fat. But there are many factors which influence a progression to a heart condition, and that is the amount of preservatives you're eating, it is the amount of sleep you are getting, it is the number of chemicals in your food, right from processed food to the kind of food you're having on a daily basis. So it's not as simplistic as just not eating fat.
And in India, we do have this habit of having a heavy dinner before we go to sleep. So these sort of issues are things that people now need to rethink.
Yes, absolutely, because you know, in India it's a concept that, okay, we skip breakfast and then the lunch is 3-4 o'clock or something, and then we go home, we are really tired, we sit in front of the television, eat a big meal, and you'll be surprised, and I think doctor can tell us that many heart attacks happen in the early mornings. You know, so this heavy meal and the you know, the cortisol surge in the morning, they all add up, and lack of sleep, stress. And
we're all living more stressful lifestyles now, isn't it? So that is another big contributor. Now, Amit, it's said that wealthy urban males are at the greatest risk right now. And as somebody who's been an athlete, international athlete, I would have thought we're giving more attention to working out because, you know, everybody talks about it so much these days, but clearly we aren't, and we need to make it more part and parcel of our lifestyles.
See, in a layman's language, I would simply say that every part of our body has got an expiry, and so is heart. Now, our ancestors have mentioned that our breaths have been counted. The faster we're going to breathe, the shorter we're going to live. Fit person like Lance Armstrong had a resting pulse rate as 32 pulse per minute. A normal person like you would have it from 70 to 75. So I would just give you a data. Suppose you have 75 as your pulse rate. And suppose I have 65 pulse rate, resting pulse rate in the morning. Now, in 1 minute, there's a difference of 10 beats. In an hour, there will be a difference of 600 beats. In a day, there will be a difference of 1404 beats. In a year, 52 lakhs 56,000
Okay.
beats, your heart will beat more than what my heart is beating if it's the difference of 10 beats per minute. So that means that makes it around 48 days in a year I am living longer, in the sense like my heart is beating
Because
lesser.
you're fitter. We talk about heart disease, and especially people younger than 40 getting heart attacks these days. We must also talk about the finances, because it can really set you back. Medical.
After listening to Amit, I'm already breathing slow. But that can be one way of ensuring myself to live longer. Another better way can also be to have a good insurance cover. No? Because fundamentally, if you look at it, the difference in your life of about 10 years is whether you have an insurance cover or not. Now, that looks like a very
10 years, how is
yeah,
that?
That looks like a very atrocious statement, no? Now, to look at it, let's look at places where you have good health infrastructure, like Casablanca or Japan. The average expectancy is about 90 plus. Let's look at places like Uganda. The average expectancy is about 40 years plus. The difference is healthcare, because you know that if you go to a good doctor and a good hospital, it's going to cost you money. And you have saved all your life for your son's marriage, daughter's education, no? And you would not like to blow it up. And that is where, when you don't get the right kind of treatment, the best procedures, your life expectancy is going to go down. 10 years, I'm just giving as a small benchmark. It can be 30 years, 20 years. That is the difference, and good insurance cover would make to your life. And the beauty is, the cost of a good health cover would not be more than a dinner with your friends in a year. The difference is, I think a lot of times we look at insurance as a financial saving. No, we don't look at insurance as something which is going to make a difference to our lives. I think that is the point that we have to look at as we go through it.
All right, when we talk about health changes that we need to make so that we don't require, hopefully, this medical intervention, and what would your advice be to people about nutritional and food habits that need to be changed?
See, the first thing I would say is that use organic oils and use oils which are not super refined. The reason is because when we start refining oils, and when we start having many of these oils which might have trans fats, that is the biggest hit on our heart, and that is the biggest hit on our health, because oils, unlike vegetables and fruits, actually go deep into your body, into your liver, into your system, and impact. So, always use best quality oils and use virgin or organic oils. That is number one. To give you an example, like for example, if you are using ghee, use organic ghee, because the other ghee would have oxytocin and a lot of hormones. Similarly, if you are using, say, mustard oil, which is supposed to be good for the heart, then use kachi ghani oil. Don't use the refined and the super refined and that is number one. Number two, I would say obviously is that keep your kids away, and keep the women who are expecting completely away from foods which have preservatives in it. Preservatives are fundamentally alien to the body. They attack the body. So, don't have foods which attack your body inside, because if they attack the body, then the body goes into a sense of defense and inflammation, and that creates a chain reaction of ill health. Third thing I would say is that for minor things, use kitchen herbs, like if you have a sore throat, you can use adrak, tulsi, mulethi. Don't jump into self-medication. Like a lot of people, they have pain and they take a painkiller immediately. There are many other things which you can do before.
You must learn about these things, and
Small,
I think it's just a Google search away to actually come up with some sort of home remedy to deal with these problems. But Dr. Gupta, we're also seeing a lot of increase of heart disease among women, and why is that?
So once again, we go back to the same factors, like heart disease in women.
Is it just that we're hearing it more, it was always there, or are we genuinely seeing that women are becoming more susceptible?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think we are hearing about it a little bit more because now, diagnosis and everything else is definitely improved. There's a common misconception that women typically don't have heart disease. And I would like to clear that women are also susceptible to heart disease, more so in the later part of the life, like after menopause and stuff. But that's when you really see the blockages. But even pre-menopause, young women can have heart disease. They can have rheumatic heart disease. They can have during pregnancy, they can develop hypertension. They can have peripartum cardiomyopathy. They can have multiple other conditions. So women also have heart disease. We don't hear about it often enough, but it is a very big problem. One of the things is that women often have atypical symptoms of when they have angina. The angina.
So it's different from men. the
Yes,
symptoms that they
yes.
exhibit.
Yeah, so like the classic thing you hear about is, oh, the gentleman is walking, he clenches his chest, he's having chest pain, then he stops walking, the pain gets better, and he starts walking again. That's the classic angina. But in women, but that, first of all, that happens in a very, it doesn't happen in the majority of patients. It's happened about 40–50% of patients will have the classic pain. The other people will have, I feel a little short of breath, I'm just not feeling good, I'm feeling a little dizzy. They will have the
And for women?
atypical symptoms, similar. So the symptoms will be masked, as we say. So they tend to have more atypical symptoms, which are often missed.
Right. And Mrs. Singhel, you were talking about how people might try to skimp on medical treatment for themselves, and I think in the Indian family system, the most we see is women, somehow they really skimp on medical treatment. They'd rather put their children first or their husbands first, then have themselves treated. So again, it comes back to if they do require such medical intervention, that's where I suppose insurance is going to help them not think 10 times about seeking the best medical care.
Yeah, so now if you look at what doctor just mentioned, he mentioned that 50% time you don't really get the classic symptoms of a heart attack, which means that if you don't have a good health cover, that 50% time you'll try to ignore it. You'll try to say, yeah, it's okay, I'll get better, why go to a doctor, it's unnecessary, no, they unnecessarily charge, they'll unnecessarily admit me. And you see, that is where the probability of dying increases 50%. And that's the point I want to make. When you have a good
People
health,
should have that, be free to
Yeah.
not think twice about going to a hospital for care.
All the point I want to make it is not only about the financial saving, it's about your mindset. You have good health cover, you walk to the best doctor, best hospitals, get the best treatment done, and you have a better quality of life. You don't hesitate. When you don't have a cover, you typically would hesitate, and women typically more.
Right,
Because I think
that's
somehow
something that
that
has
is
been seen
inbuilt
by
in them.
many studies.
Inbuilt in
Women
them in terms of
just don't seek
preserving the
medical
family,
care.
in terms of preserving the wealth. I think the brains are
They
wired
put
more.
themselves last when it
Exactly.
comes to care in the
And
family.
let's say, imagine if there's the house which has a good health cover, the lady also knows it, she feels it. She says, bang on, I know it doesn't cost my family much, let's go to the best doctor. That's the difference it makes. Health insurance makes a huge difference to your quality of life, and that's the only thing I'd like to mention here, I think.
Amit, when we're talking about fitness, we also have people who are very fit getting heart attacks, and you have this sudden cardiac death as well taking place. Why is that? Is there such a thing as too much exercise and working out just too much?
The thing is, once a sportsman, they have become mentally very, very strong. They think when the body is giving them alarms, they can still overcome with their mental state. So the highest rate of our heart could be 220 minus your age. Suppose you're running a marathon, and in between the marathon, you are exceeding that limit, but still your mind is telling you, no, you are an athlete, keep running. You're playing a soccer match, you see the ball over there, and you're about to score a goal. You will not care about your pulse rate, and you'll still
You
try.
think it's because they push themselves through
hard.
possible symptoms, that's
Yeah,
why?
they push themselves too hard, and then there are unpredictability is always there, and for that purpose only insurance
All right, but that's
comes
not
into
to say that
picture.
you should obviously work out and make it a big part of your lifestyle. And you were saying how Indians are the most sedentary. So the morning walk, evening walk, a jog once a week, what would you recommend?
If you're gonna do 30 minutes running, you will not be able to start up with 30 minutes, start with 15 minutes. But if you'll do 30 minutes running thrice a week for around 6 months, that will reduce your pulse rate by 10. So
And this is all a very real worry given the
I would
statistics there that the heart disease is just rising, especially in urban India.
I would simply advise, go check your pulse in the morning, see if it is below 70, I would say it is good, the resting pulse, it is decent. But if it is above 70, then you definitely need to leave your bed, go out for a morning walk, start jogging, start doing some exercise, crush fitness, you must do anything. That takes your, see now Baba Ramdev is telling you to do yoga, Kapalbhati, it's all about your pulse, making your heart muscle strong. So
All right.
running is the natural way of doing it.